Hello, my dear students. Uh, in Labor Law second paper, today we'll talk about the Payment of Wages Act 1936, which is given under Unit 2nd of this Labor Law second paper. And under the Payment of Wages Act 1936, we'll take up some important definitions given in the Section 2 under different clauses. I'm Dr. Kityagi, and I'll be dealing with those definitions today in this video lecture 11. So first of all, we take up the very important definitions, though it's not available on the slide. But when we would be referring the appropriate government under Section 2I, then appropriate government means in relation to railways, air transport services, mines, soil fields, central government, and in relation to all other cases, the state government. So appropriate government means under the Section 2I, the appropriate government means in relation to railways, air transport services, oil fields and mines, the central government, and in relation to all other cases, the state government. And when we talk about the employed person under this Act, the Payment of Wages Act 1936, then under Section 2 and this clause IA, employed person includes the legal representatives of a deceased employed person. So employed person also includes the our employed person includes the legal representative of a deceased employed person. And one other important definition of employer given under Section 2IB, that is employer includes the legal representatives of a deceased employer. And as we have seen for the employed person, likewise here in the employer, for the employer also, employer includes a legal representative of a deceased employer. And factory under Section 2IC means a factory as defined in clause M of the Section 2 of the Factories Act 1948, and includes any place to which the provisions of that act have been applied. Under subsection 1 of Section 85 thereof. So factory means whatever definition we refer in clause M of the Section 2M. Section 2M, right? So under this act also, whenever we would be referring to the factory, we'll refer to the Section 2M, where the factory is defined as where on 10 or more workers are working or were working on any day in preceding 12 months, and in any part of which a manufacturing process is being carried on with the aid of power or is ordinarily so carried on. The one case means where 10 or more workers are working with the aid of power, right? And some manufacturing process is being carried on. And other we find in Section 2M that where around 20 or more workers are working without the aid of power in are working or were working in preceding 12 months, right? Without the aid of power, or in which manufacturing process is being carried on, then it will be included in the factory, right? So under this Section 2IC, factory means factory as defined in clause M of the Section 2, what I have referred right now, what I have mentioned you, and includes any place to which the provisions of the act of that act have been applied in the subsection 1 of Section 85 thereof, right? And so far the other establishments are concerned. Section 2II of the Act, and industrial or the other establishment means any motor transport service or tramway service which carries passengers or goods, air transport, industrial service other than that belonging to the exclusively employed in the military, naval, or Air Forces of the Union or the Civil Aviation Department of the Government of India, dog bath or mechanically propelled inland vessel, mine, quarry, plantation. So you can just refer those definitions with the help of BEAR Act also. And under section 2IIA, mine is also defined. Mine has the meaning assigned to it in clause J of the subsection 1 of section 2 of the Mines Act 1952. Likewise, the plantation is also defined, meaning assigned to it in clause F of the section 2 of the Plantations Labor Act 1951. So here I'm just referring quickly and in brief. You can refer to the BEAR Act for the same. And the wages according to the section 2 clause 6 of the Act, wages means all remuneration expressed in terms of money or are capable of being so expressed. So this is the meaning given under section 2 in this clause. And there are either by way of salary allowances or otherwise further the remuneration are payable to the person employed on the fulfillment of the terms of the employment express or implied. These remuneration include inclusion in wages, any amount which is payable under any award or the settlement between the parties or an order of the court, amounts that the employee is entitled to with respect to working overtime or on holidays or any leave periods, any additional remuneration as per the terms of the employment like bonus, incentive. So a very exhaustive definition of wages given under the Act, the sum of money that the employee must receive due to the termination of his employment. Further, this sum is either payable under law or contract of instrument, which specifies the payment of such sum. Also, this may or may not include deductions, and it also does not specify the time within which the firm needs to make the payment. So, the quite exhaustive definition of the wages given under the Act. And if we talk about the bonus, then any bonus which does not form a part of the remuneration payable under the terms of the employment, or a bonus which is not payable under any award or settlement between parties, or so any sum to which the employee is entitled under any scheme that is framed under any law in force, however, it does not include. So means these things will not be included in the wages, right? So any sum to which the employee is entitled under any scheme that is framed under any law in force, however, it does not include any bonus which does not form a part of the remuneration payable, right? The value of any house accommodation or the supply of water, light, medical attendance, or any services which is excluded from the computation of wages under an order of the government. So any sum to which the employee is entitled under any scheme that is framed under any law which is in force, right? However, it does not include that bonus we have referred in the value of any house accommodation or the supply of water, light, medical attendance, or any services which it is excluded from the computation of wages under an order of the government. So if the government is ordered, then will not be included, right? So this is all about the some important definition: employer contribution to any pension or provident fund, and any traveling allowance or traveling concessions, any sum that employee receives to defray special expenses due to the nature of his employment. Gratuity was payable on the termination of the employment in cases other than those specified in clause D. So this is all about the wages. So this is all about the important definitions for today's deliberation in brief, and for other definitions you can refer to the BEAR Act also, my dear students. Thank you so much. Have a nice time. And in next lecture, we'll talk about the responsibility for payment of wages, which is given under section 3 of the Payment of Wages Act. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Have a nice time. Bye-bye. Take care.